Mission Briefing 2. Meet the Locals. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to head over to the Angry Tiki Bar and gather more information from the locals by any means necessary. And we really do mean by any means necessary. This ain't your high school prom, Agent. We've got a missing plane and a secret dossier to locate. Time is of the essence. Ned knew that he needed to keep his mission objective in mind at all times. Bars were dangerous places. Too many agents had ended up on a final mission after forgetting the motto of one of the greatest agents. Each of us has only a quantum of compassion. If we lavish our concern on every stray cat, we never get to the center of things. So far he hadn't seen any stray cats, but one could never be too cautious. Ned knew bartenders were a treasure trove of information. He struck up a friendly conversation with Gregorio. "I'm on a few weeks of well-earned leave, and what better way to spend them than in this beautiful place?" Ned's appreciation of his world struck a chord with Gregorio. "I'd be happy to introduce you to some of my regulars," he told Ned. As promised, he introduced his regulars to Ned. Ned decided to try a different tactic. Rather than asking directly about the plane crash, he'd listen in covertly as he had done in Strangerville. The traditional Salvadoradian greeting made it easy for Ned to plant listening devices. The sunset was brilliant that evening, and Raoul was eager to show Ned some of the traditional dances. "My turn!" "Ow, ow! Ha ha! Let me show you, soldier!" "Now your Willow Creek moves." Ned seemed to be gaining the trust of the locals, but he needed to come up with a different name. He didn't want anyone searching him on the SimDoughnut. Thinking quickly, he borrowed the name from one of the greatest agents. "Name's George," he introduced himself. The moon was high in the sky, and the bar was packed. "My friend Luce has invited you to barbecue with us, George." "I'm having such a great time," Ned told Luce. "Could I get your number?" "I'm having a wonderful time too, George." "You're not like the typical soldiers on leave I usually see. I hope we will be able to spend more time together." "Well, I have accrued a whole season's worth of leave," Ned smiled, hoping he was being charismatic. He took a chance. "My plans definitely include you, Luce. Call me sometime. Dag dag." An exhausted Ned headed back to the safe house. The bar was still busy, and even though Ned was tired, he planned to listen in on the locals for any clues. Coffee, not sleep, would get him through the wee hours tonight. But first, he needed to make it back to the safe house. The jungle was a dangerous place. He froze. "Just remain calm. Stay still, and they won't attack." Back at the safe house, and fueled by Java, Ned tuned in on the listening devices. After spending the entire day listening in on the locals he'd bugged and not finding out anything about the missing plane, Ned was eager for a night out. So far, he'd only discovered some less than honest business dealings, an illegally obtained permit to search part of the jungle, and Luce asking her manager for the evening off. So when Luce texted, El Arbol de Jaguar is having a special, George. Free food and drinks from 9 to midnight. Want to join me? Ned eagerly accepted. What do you think, George? Isn't it delicious? Ned agreed. The arepa de pabellon was spicy but good. A few moments later, Raoul approached their table. Luce, George, want to join us? Ned figured this was a great way to squeeze a little extra information out of the locals. Fighting back a twinge of guilt, he whispered a few words into Raoul's ear. Raoul blanched. How do you know the permit was forged? And could 100 simoleons make you forget it? Something's come up, Raoul told the group and hurriedly left. Ned heard a familiar voice. Table for 2, please. The missus and I sure do like your little village, and this free drink and food night just beats all. Ned hoped Mayor Roswell wouldn't blow his cover. He then noticed the mysterious woman in red. Last time he'd seen her was at the bar in Strangerville, the night he realized something odd was happening. Strange events always followed her, Ned sighed, reminding himself to set the satellite dish to prevent abductions. However, the woman in red was soon joined by what Ned recognized as her husband and son, so he put any thoughts of prior conspiracies to rest. Returning to the safe house, Ned contemplated his time in the village and his conversation with Luce and her friends. Time to put the pieces of the puzzle together, he mused. I think this group of locals is somehow connected to the crash. Perhaps it was time to pay a visit to Raoul's home.